I want to challenge you on something. Next time you are riding with your kids, with your family, I want you to pay attention to something. Look in your rearview mirror if your kids are sitting in the back seat and see if they're looking at you. I've noticed this a lot, especially with my son, actually my son and my daughter. I will actually be driving in the car and I look up in the mirror and I'll just see them staring at me. Just staring, not saying anything, not wanting anything, and I just wonder, what are they thinking? As I'm watching them look at me, what are they thinking about? Are they proud? Are they happy? Do they admire me? Do they respect me? Do they wish I was different? All of these questions, I wonder, what are they thinking about? Let's make it personal to you. If something was to happen to you and you were no longer here, what would your kids think about? They go on to live their lives and they're thinking and they're dreaming and they're remembering you. What are your wives going to think? He was a good man. Why? What legacy did you leave? What a lot of people fail to think about and realize is what type of impact they're actually leaving imprinted into their family's minds. Let's focus on kids for a second. You know, I look at my son. I'm watching him grow and I'm just so proud of him. I love the man that he's becoming. I love how he's processing things. He's thinking through things. It's amazing to watch his personality come out. But then there's also moments when he comes in and around and, hey, Daddy, tell me about leadership. Hey, why did you decide to do this in the company? What do you think about this? What would you do if? And he's asking me these different questions, and every time he asks me those questions, I've realized the magnitude of how important my life is for my kids. And then I take it a step further. I know when I am training my kids and raising my kids up alongside my wife, we're doing this together, I know what we're pushing and pressing for them to be able to do in their adulthood lives. And even starting now, they're going to touch a lot of people's lives. They're going to impact the way life is for a lot of different people. So then the question becomes, what are my actions doing that's going to affect the world later on, even after I'm gone? What is my legacy? As a follower of Christ, my next question has to be, are the things that I am instilling in them matching with what the Word of God says? Through my actions, through my words? Because again, real manhood, especially as a follower of Christ, is doing and being as close to Christ as you can, which means you have to get into His Word. The Bible tells me that only what is done for Christ will last. When we leave here, somebody's going to live in this house. Somebody will drive my cars. They'll do all the nice, fun things that we may have, that we may be blessed with. That's not going to last. That's going to perish and go away. Any resources I have, all that's going to be gone. So the only thing that's really going to last is what I've instilled in my kids and the impact that I've had on people's lives and that they will go on to have in people's lives. When we think of it from those lenses, things should really change. When we think of it from that perspective, our priorities should really change. Now, that football game that's on and who wins really doesn't mean as much as it used to. How much money I have in the bank account, that's really not that big of a deal. That's really not that important. Because that stuff is going to get spent, it's going to perish, it's going to move away. But what will last is what is done for Christ. So for those of you men who, one, want to be great men, think about that. Want to be great men in the eyes of your children and in the eyes of your wife. But more importantly, men who want to do the job that God put you here to do, you need to make sure you're thinking of this from a biblical lens. Because the best impact you can have is the impact that lasts longer than your lifespan. That's the impact you want to chase after. And I hope to God that when my time comes for me to leave, that my family and the people that I've come into contact with can say, you know what, this brother right here, he did his job well. And I want them to be able to truly say it, not just out of religious tradition. I want them to see and to be able to show and say that I did my part. So my question is, what about you?